companies that are knocking at your door, do you have a team hunting for brands that have that USP that's really just you've been looking to fill? Like, how is it that you guys go after these businesses, or what's the checklist look like?
Hmm. So things have changed a lot actually since we started. I would say when we first started the company, it was almost entirely coming from brokers. Those are only source of leads.
Empire flippers of the
Yeah,
world.
Empire Flippers. Yeah, which those the guys, all those companies are pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, and we probably only had a couple businesses in our portfolio when Ken Kubak, as our VP of acquisition, started. I think there was 3 companies in the pipeline. We bought all 3 because that's all was in our pipeline, and we were just trying to learn and get some stuff under our belt. And nowadays, I think we might have 70 or 80 businesses that we're actively evaluating right now in the pipeline or more. And it's become, yes, we still get businesses from brokers and things like that, but a lot of the leads are just inbound now because they're, the businesses, this whole space is just becoming larger. So there's more players in the space, which is great. And that's actually creating a lot of demand for Thrasio because we've been around the longest and raise most money and are good at what we're doing. So luckily a lot of the leads are inbound, but I wouldn't say pursuing, but we're looking at companies that are larger, actively, ones that we think we can build into those brands. So things that maybe they have a Shopify presence that's a couple $1 million, and we look at it and we're like, hey, you're not running UGC Facebook ads, or you're not doing this. Okay, we can bring it into the fold, and we know from looking at it within 10 seconds that there's something there. And I think a lot of good marketers, probably yourself included, you can look at something and you can immediately say like, yep, that's a good one. Or like that one, that's harder for sure. Like maybe there's something there. And other stuff, it's like, okay, I can build a funnel out of it. I can sell a couple $1,000 a day, but that's probably all it's gonna be at the end of the day, or it's gonna go up and come back down. So, but we're very fortunate now that a lot of the leads and commonly just a lot of the great businesses are coming to seek us out, which is a good problem.
That's a nice position to be in for sure. I mean, traditionally, if you asked me a year ago, if I was having a chat with you and I was asked how important is marketing on Amazon, I would just assume it'd be like 100%. That's what we focus on. But nowadays, like if business comes in your funnel and it's a lead for you guys and they're only spending 5 to 10%, is that a deal breaker then? Because it sounds like you guys are just going to offer up a slew of other services or just fill in the gaps for them. So like, it isn't just FBA businesses, obviously.
Not anymore. I mean, that's still mostly of what it is, but I think as we're also starting to move up the size of the business. So when we first started, we're really looking at businesses in the $1 to $5 million range. And now that we've acquired 105, 110 businesses at this point, we've built the portfolio. We've built the diversity. We've made a bunch of mistakes along the way. We built a lot of systems along the way. And so now we can start moving up funnel, and we're looking at businesses that are 10 to $200 million. And when you start getting into that range and you buy a company that's $40 million and 30 million of it is on Amazon and 10 million of it is on Shopify, you don't want the 10 million to go away. And so we're making sure we built all those muscles from the ground up. So right now there's really nothing we won't look at. And our mantra is really just come as you are. Like, don't worry about rebuilding your P&L. Don't worry about trying to clean up your business and do all the different stuff. Like just come chat with us. The team will, at a very minimum, just help you figure out stuff, help you figure out your business and think through it.
Understanding like how much business is driven through Amazon on probably more of your historic purchases. Like, what have you guys seen over the last year with Amazon's like incredible growth in 2020? Like, what things have you kind of rode the wave on? What have you been really leveraging through Amazon
for marketing?
Yeah.
Or just, yeah. So when we first started, really objective was just like, okay, we need to understand PPC and how it works on Amazon. I think the first 6 months, I probably tried 15 different advertising softwares just to get the lay of the land and figure out how it works. So fast forward 2.5 years later, we have a very good understanding of how PPC works. We have a whole team that's dedicated to just do that. But the last 12 months, I've been trying to figure out what are all the other channels we can play with? Because when you start talking about Amazon, we can talk about direct consumer, we can talk about Amazon, but Amazon specifically, in the last 12 months, a lot of new channels just on Amazon have started. And so 2.5 years ago, sponsored brand was barely a thing. Sponsored brand video did not exist at all. And that's been actually doing tremendously well for us. I recommend, it's probably one of the biggest low-hanging fruits for Amazon sellers right now is sponsored brand video, because there's not a lot of sellers doing it. You have to produce video. There's some video builders you can use, but I mean, you can get an incremental 5% on your business, 8%, potentially at least a couple percentage points if you start activating different channels. DSP is starting to work really well. I always recommend just start with retargeting first. Don't play around with prospecting yet when it comes to DSP. Amazon Live is also starting to get pretty interesting.
Amazon Live, is that the live unboxing events, or how's that?
Yeah, so there's essentially live stream on Amazon. So you could do one right now. You can set up a camera and go live on Amazon. Wouldn't get much attention, but if you do it a lot, it starts getting a lot of attention. But Amazon also has preferred influencers who they partner with, who get products, and they do lives. Amazon itself also does lives. And so if you're a larger brand and you start doing things like lightning deals or deals of the day, you can contact Amazon and say, hey, I'm interested in a live program. And maybe they can pair up a Amazon Live with the deal of the day. And that's a home run if you can try to get to do that. But Amazon, when you start thinking about it, it's an algorithm at the end of the day. And so there's a lot of big differences between an Amazon business and a direct to consumer business. So when you start talking about Amazon, and when no one knows if this is true or not, but everyone believes the more external traffic you can bring into Amazon, the better it'll do for you. And at the end of the day, Amazon's really about conversion rate, sessions, velocity, a couple of different factors that impact the algorithm. So if you can pull someone in from a non-shopping experience into a shopping experience, it helps feed the system. So we're starting to do a lot of things with Google. It's like Google into Amazon, Facebook into Amazon, which is much harder to do because you can't place pixels. You can't do a lot of the things you can do with a direct-to-consumer site. But you can use things like Amazon attribution, which is tremendously powerful. So if you're sending traffic into Amazon and not using attribution, you should, because it's really the only way you can measure the traffic you're sending in and optimize it better. So we are trying everything when it comes to Amazon.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, so when you reference the handful of data points or levers, it's, what do they call it, the A5 or the A6, the signals that people are claiming that are part of the algorithm. How often is that changing? Is that on a yearly basis, biannually? Is it true?
No one really knows. Like, that Amazon will do releases when they're potentially changing things and whatnot, but Amazon's just always experimenting. Editorials will pop up one day and the next day it'll disappear, or your products will be in a stripe and the next day they won't. So the system's just always changing. And one thing that's changed a lot is it does seem like advertising is being promoted more on Amazon. So organic placements are taking up less spots, and stripes are taking up more, or the sponsored product section is taking up a couple more spots than it used to on the Amazon page. So, and this tends to change as platforms get more mature over time. They start off very organic, and then over the years, paid starts becoming more important. More percentage of your business starts becoming reliant on paid advertising. So it's something we're starting to see a bit on Amazon as well. And you can see it with all these new advertising channels as well that they're introducing, is it's the market continually changes. So you just have to always be experimenting with the new stuff that comes out.
So is that one of the first things that you do when you acquire the brands, is start to drive as much traffic from off of Amazon to Amazon? What's kind of the budgets that people should be playing around with if they're just listening now and hearing this for the first time?
That's part of it. When we take it over, you always have to look at the business holistically. I mean, they're all different. I mean, some of the easiest things you can do, I'll talk about some of the easiest things first and then paid. But, we take a super hard look at the creative. And a lot of the times it's someone who just did something on Fiverr, which is fine and it worked. But when you're on Amazon, you really have to create that branded experience for a consumer. So that you want someone to feel like that brand's existed for 20 years
Absolutely.
and they trust it. So some, things we do is change creative. You have to, if you're a seller now, like take a hard look at the creative, ask a bunch of friends, the hardest part is to try to pretend it's not your brand and go into Amazon and pretend I'm searching for a wine opener and see which one you're going to pick. And if for some reason you don't pick your own, maybe you should try to figure out the creative or see if the headline didn't get you. Look at the SEO, see what you can do. So there's a lot of low hanging, inexpensive fruit when it comes to just doing a better photo shoot, making sure you have a video on your listing, doing the creative and things like that. But from an advertising spend perspective, I think you should, if you're only spending a couple percentage on PPC, try to get it higher. The range we like to try to see, or not like to see, but get it to once we acquire it, is called between 8 to 12% tacos. It's your total advertising cost of sales. So it's just another made up term. I don't think it existed. So if you're a $100,000 a month Amazon business, you should try to get to $10,000 a month in ad spend.
Right.
So 10%. And I think a lot of sellers are it makes sense. They're conservative. The more you spend on advertising, potentially the more impact it has on your profit. But sometimes when you spend more, you actually make more. And it's because it's this ecosystem that feeds itself. It's a positive feedback loop or a negative feedback loop. So if you're running a direct consumer business and you increase your Facebook spend, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe you've saturated that audience. But when it comes to Amazon PPC, if you can keep slowly increasing the ACoS targets, or maybe you want 20%, and you take it to 21, you take it to 22, and you slowly walk it up. Do you see what it does to overall sales? Like your total revenue on PPC might go up, your total profit on PPC might go down slightly, but your whole brand's revenue and profit might actually go up because you're driving more sales, you're increasing the velocity, and maybe you move from spot 4 to spot 3. And those simple spot jumps are actually super meaningful on the Amazon ecosystem. So you don't have to do it for long, just be a little more aggressive and see what it does. But that 8 to 12% range when it comes to Amazon PPC seems to be the